himself a body to offer as a sacrifice for the sins of the world. Now the Hebrews, when they heard this message, although it was strange in nature, although it was quite different from Judaism, because in Judaism man had to do something. Y'all ain't saying that. But in Christianity, Christ did something, and man simply has to believe what Christ did. Right. Jesus said the works of the Father is that you believe on the Son. Yeah. We're trying to master it by selling stuff. Y'all understand? By going so many times and by doing things. But we master faith and trust in God by believing in what His Son did. Now you got to know that for some, this message would have been a joyful message. All right. Tired of the same old ritual. Tired of serving a God who I can't have no real contact with. Tired of serving a God who is so distant, so far away. A God who, at best, I got to go through somebody else to get to. And when the message came concerning the Christ, the Hebrews gladly received the message. They understood that this Christ who had died for their sins was soon to come back. And for those that believe, give them everlasting life and take them to a place of eternity. And they waited on Him with great joy. Some way, somehow, like it is now, He didn't come right away. All right. In that day, there were Christians who were being persecuted. Some that were made to suffer simply for believing on Christ. And you better know that folk can't rightly just discriminate perhaps against your religion. But there are some sufferings involved with believing on the Lord. The Bible said that they waited on His return. And that they were eager and anxious for the Lord to come back. And I know that ever since I can remember, folk have been saying, the Lord is soon to come. And I wouldn't tell you no different. Because I still believe He's soon to come. And if folk believed it back then, I sure enough believe it now. Because the scripture said that except the Lord would shorten the days, that no flesh could be saved. And we're living in a time where folk are saying they're saved, but don't have love for nobody. And the scripture said that in the end, that the love of many was going to wax cold. And it also said that before the end comes, that there would be a great falling away. And you think there's not a great falling away. I like you to just take notice of some of the larger churches that have become smaller churches. Some of the larger and most notable preachers who are no longer preaching the gospel. And we must understand that God is real. And in this letter to the Hebrew church, as some who has suffered persecution for calling on Jesus, as some had got discouraged and tired of waiting for His return, they then have began to slip back into Judaism and started again to offering sacrifices for their sins, and began again to going through the same rituals that were involved in their old religion. And the writer felt the need to encourage and admonish them. And he gives a solemn warning in the verses that that precede our text tonight in saying that when you willfully sin in disbelieving in the gospel of Jesus Christ, when you think that some other sacrifice is sufficient instead of what Christ did, then there remains no more sacrifice for your sin. That is, if you ever knew that Jesus was the right way, if you ever heard and believed that Jesus could offer salvation, and then you turn around and think that some other way is sufficient or better, he's saying that there is no more sacrifice for your sin. That is, when you reject Jesus and the blood that he shed, and when you denounce him and the power that is in his salvation, then there's nothing else that will ever help you. And I wonder about that sometimes, because after we've gotten saved and it seems like we're on top of the world, as soon as the devil comes with his snares and his tricks, then we have a mind to turn back on the Lord. And I like to remind you, as the writer says, to call to remembrance your former days. How that whatever drove you to the house of the Lord and whatever drove you to God is still real and it still exists. If trouble drove you to God, rest assured that if you leave God, that trouble will still be waiting for you. If a broken heart drove you to God, be assured that if you leave God, you'll have a broken heart again. And he just called to remembrance the former days in which you were illuminated. That is, when you were enlightened, when you heard about the goodness of God, whenever you heard how he is a way maker. Think back to when you heard how no matter what you have done, he's able tonight to save your soul. The joy you had when the preacher said, come to the Lord just as you are. He said, call to remembering the former day, how you were on a Hollywood high in the Lord. How it was exciting to know that God cared so much about you, that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. He just called back to mind how that when you found the Lord and found out about him, how you had gone through a great flight of afflictions. Because every time you say, for God I live, for God I die, the devil will attack you. And whenever you say, I'm on the Lord's side, you got to rest assured that affliction and trouble will come. For even the scripture says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God will deliver him out of all of his affliction. And you got to know, as we said, that when the Lord starts blessing, that Satan starts messing. And whenever God saves your soul and delivers you and offers you a new way of life, the devil on the other side trying to tell you to look at what you're missing. The devil's trying to re-show something to you that didn't work.